Hey Beachbody Champions! I'm beyond excited to be here to talk about something that I'm really passionate about, not only being a coach, but working full-time as well, and how to rock that. And you can see my light ring in my glasses, so I'm gonna move that. It's distracting. There. Okay, so I'm really excited about this topic because I've been a coach for 3 years and I have always worked a full-time job while I have been a coach. I am a teacher by trade. I actually started coaching when I was student teaching, and if you're a teacher, you know that you are actually then, you're paying to do a full-time job and you're going to school full-time, so there's all sorts of stuff that goes along with that. Oh, thanks for hopping on, people in Sweat Society and my team Flex Force. So good to see so many people hopping on. I really hope this is something that can inspire you to know that if I can do it, you can do it. So like I said, I've been a coach for 3 years. I'm a full-time teacher. I teach special education in middle school. And when I got started with Beachbody, I'm not gonna harp on my story too long, but I was never looking for a way out of my career because I have always wanted to be two things in my life. I've always wanted to be a teacher and I've always wanted to be a mom. So I'm now both of those things, and now I'm a coach and I get to teach people how to be healthy and fit too. So color me blessed, but I am a mom to a 1-year-old, so trust me when I say hashtag busy mom life, I get it. So it can really feel like, and this might be an objection that you get a lot too, is how can you possibly find more time to rock your business while you're already working full time? Time goes by so fast in our day. And one, if I can do it, you can do it. And everyone has 24 hours in a day. You're not lacking time. You're lacking organization and direction. So I'm gonna drop that mic there and think about that, okay? So I have 24 hours in my day just like everybody else, and it's how you use your time that makes you as successful or not as you want to be. So I'm gonna tell you how I make it work. Feel free to ask questions. It's helpful if you're watching the replay to tag me so that I see the comments. So you all know our notifications get kind of messy. So I talk with my hands a lot. I hope that's not distracting to anybody. I'm sorry. And I have my notes to keep me on track. Can you tell I'm a teacher? So first thing I want to say to you guys, stop waiting for your goals to happen. Make your goals happen, because you deserve to have whatever you want this business to be for you. And no one is going to make it happen for you. You have to make it happen yourself. Okay. I've done that a lot of times. If something is a goal of mine, I make it happen myself. And I know you're thinking well, to reach certain goals, you have to rely on your team. But it's really just, it's up to you to hit those goals, and you have to lead by example, and you have to crush your own goals, okay? So I do make this work. I should have said my name is Rachel Baldwin, but you can see that on the video. I have been a coach for 3 years, like I said, and I have been on the National Wake Up Call for being recognized for a Top Success Club point earner. I have a flourishing team. I'm a Star Diamond coach, 2-star Diamond coach, and we're going places this year, and I still work full time. So it can be done, and I'm going to tell you how I do it. Okay, to get into it. So let's talk about my schedule. So I am going to challenge you to make a schedule. I didn't do this for a long time, and once I did, it was a game changer in my business. So that's an action item later, is you got to put stuff into action. You have to, it's great to have intentions, but you have to put stuff into action. So schedule your whole day. That seems neurotic, but it's really, really, really effective. I schedule my family time. Family time should be scheduled first, because I heard Melanie Mitro present on this at New Leader Conference, and it just really hit me. You want to be giving the best of you to your family, because that's probably a big reason that you're coaching, is to give your family something better. You want to give your family the best of you, not the rest of you. So schedule in that family time first. So I know that after work, until my son goes to bed at like now, I am straight up in mom mode, family mode. I'm making dinner, I'm playing with my son, I take my dog for a walk, you know, I'm home and my husband gets home, and so that's family time is first, and I schedule it for the, you know, the weekend too, and that just makes you be more intentional about setting your phone aside. So, like, yeah, put your phone away. And I kind of capture that on social media too. Like on my Instagram stories, I'll say like unplugging with my son. I'll take like a cute video. And I realize that's ironic to have your phone while you have, you know, like you're saying you're unplugging, but I do have a relatively, you know, 1-year-old, relatively new baby, and so moms get it, like we always have our phone take cute pictures, but I'm not like messaging people, you know. So schedule your family time, then you should schedule your workout time, and then after you schedule your workout time, you need to throw in your work time, like your full-time job. So I'm at school, I put in those hours that I'm at work, like I'm a teacher. It's not like I have like a just regular desk job too. You know, I have to be, if you have a full-time job, you have to be attending to what you're there for. Just like when you're coaching, you should be attending to those tasks, but I'll get to that in a second. I get up early. I get up at 5, and especially with these 80-day obsession workouts, are a little bit longer. Yes, it takes being intentional to make that happen, but your workout should be number one, because if you're not being proof of that the products work, then you're going to cut your success in half at least. I use my lunch to work unless I have a meeting or something, but my lunch is supposed to be duty free, so I try to protect that time, and I work during that time. I also listen to PD in the car. On some days, I literally have a 2-minute commute, and other days I do not. So don't say like, well, I have a long commute, I can't do it. Getting PD while you're in the car, especially if you have a long commute, you're gonna have a leg up in the game, because PD is like life in this business. I cut out PD for such a long time in my business, and it didn't necessarily show that, you know, but once I added it in, it took me from here to off the screen, you know, like it was crazy. So that PD really does make a difference, and finding a PD that you can listen to. Audible is my jam. Like, and if you don't like the person's voice, like reading it to you, like get another book. There are so many different books out there that there's always something you can be listening to. So listen to it in the car, you know. Don't use the excuse, I don't like Audible, like, you know, make it work, you know. Get focused. So when you are coaching, you are working on your business, your coaching business, then you need to be working, okay? And I'm going to give you some tips. So you need to get focused. Number one, you need to do your frog first. So for me, it's not that it's my frog, but I just don't feel accomplished if I don't get my follow-ups done. And if I don't get them done first, it's really easy for me to not get them done. So I always start when I'm working with my follow-ups. I start my day that way. So maybe that's before you leave the house for work. Like you spend 15 minutes. Oh, I also work in Power Pockets. You know, that's just a given. I think there's an awesome video about that a couple of days ago. So watch that, because Power Pockets are extremely effective. And I'll give you some tips on crushing your Power Pockets in a second. So eat your frog. Is that what the term is? Eat your frog. So do that activity first. You get your vitals done. Get your inviting done. Get your follow-ups done. Do your income producing activities first, because you are doing this for income, right? And even if you're doing it for helping people, then you should still be inviting and following up and showing people you care about their goals. You care that they were interested, like you are invested in them as a person. So that's really important to do those income producing activities first. This is just like a life time management skill. You should always do a bunch of one activity at one time. I don't know how to better like say that, but so you should not be answering messages as they come through. You should not be doing one follow-up here, check an email, check your work email, check your text. No, if you're doing follow-ups, you are only doing follow-ups. Like you have blinders on, you're knocking them out. Check, now I can check my text messages if that's something you need to do. Now I'm on to task inviting, on to the next task. Only doing one of that, only doing one task until its completion will make you so much more productive. You will like be blown away. It seems silly, but multitasking is actually like it's a horrible time management strategy. It's not effective at all. And I fall victim to that at work. I just check emails as they come through, but I know that knowing that is a waste of time. But I don't do that when I'm coaching. I just stick to, I also have a teacher job and I need to check emails as they come through, but I digress. Okay. So doing all of one task. And this is another productivity tip, is to sit down to work. Sorry, my phone fell off my tripod. Let me get it back here. That was crazy. It's kind of embarrassing. Oh, it might fall again. Okay. So sorry about that. Okay. We might just have to regroup here, but like life happens, right? I'm just like a regular person. Here, I know, I'll prop my water up. Okay, no water for me. Okay, we're gonna make this work. Sorry about that. Now that I'm like I'm off kilter. Okay, so doing all of one task. Okay, so you want to sit down to work, and I'm going to challenge you, like, especially if you work full time, try not to work from your phone. I do like really crappy work when I'm on my phone versus when I'm sitting down with my laptop, or I'm the most productive off a desktop. So knowing that about myself, I didn't always have a desktop, but I made it a priority like to get one, to earn one, I guess. So I have my trusty Mac here, desktop, and I'm so unbelievably more productive on my desktop because when I'm away, I have to sit here and do it. You're not distracted by notifications coming in, text messages coming in, which do come in on my Mac, but you know what I mean. So, and I can cover up notifications on Facebook. Like you have to have your blinders on. Like you have to, if you need to put your phone in airplane mode, do it. If you need to leave your phone in the other room, do it. You should leave your phone in the other room when you're having family time, but get serious about being productive because it will take you less time to do those things that you want to do for your business or need to do for your business because you're way more productive. You're sitting down, you're getting focused, versus if you're stopping to check messages and check texts or emails or whatever, it's going to take you like 3 times as long to finish one thing off of your to-do list. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. And I know this is, in this business especially, it's very easy to be distracted by all of the like bright, shiny things and all the new trainings. Oh, this coach is doing that. Oh, this coach is doing that. Oh, I should check out that new training. I should start that. I haven't finished these 3 I already paid for. But stop. You guys, you have to stop. You can't do that because, one, the comparing game is a really dangerous game. It's a time sucker and it's a joy stealer. So first things first, you need to make sure you're not following a zillion coaches. Stay true to yourself, because when you start following a lot of coaches, you will, whether you mean to or not, you will want to do posts like them, and you are not them. So even if you don't mean to, you will just come across like something's not clicking to your audience. Not saying you won't come across authentic, but they might be like, that just didn't seem like, if I do that, they're like, it wasn't quite Rachel, and that post might probably 9 times out of 10 doesn't do as well for me as it did for the person who made it versus, if I come up with something on my own. So I really follow like my own team and like 1 or 2 coaches that I really love and I like religiously follow them, and then other coaches I may go like peek in on them, see what's up, what lately, you know, how their team's doing, that sort of thing. Like I'm, you know who they are, but it's such an easy suck to get into with Facebook, and I don't have the extra time to get sucked into that, so I stopped following everybody. Oh, and finish your trainings. So don't be distracted by all the shiny things. Do one thing. Get good at one platform. If you are knee deep into Facebook right now and you're seeing all these Instagram trainings, Instagram is hot, but you need to be all in on one thing. If you are doing all of these different little things, you will spread yourself too thin and you won't see the fruits of your labor. And that's working harder, not smarter. I always have to be careful how I say that, but you know what I mean? So you want to put your whole self into one platform. And I am going to pull this thread up on my computer because my phone doesn't show me if there's questions, which I'll try to answer at the end. But okay, this is the biggest one. If there's one takeaway to take from this, it is this. You guys, you have to stop answering messages on the fly. Give me a like if you do that. I did it, especially as a new coach. I don't care if you've been a coach for one day. You can't do it. You have to stop. You cannot answer messages on the fly for a couple of reasons. Good. I'm seeing them on my computer. Good. I'm glad you're own it. And now promise you're going to stop, because it is a business killer for a couple of reasons. I'm going to tell you why. One, it is not productive. See, tip before, you should sit down when you're working. Okay, now I'm answering messages, and you'll bang them out. Versus answering one message on the fly, you're taking time. It feels like 1 second. You're taking time to pull up the app. You're taking time to find a script. You're taking time to type out an answer or copy paste or whatever. It all takes time. But when you're sitting down and doing it, you'll bang them out, I swear. When I started doing this, changed my business, I swear to God. And I give my coaches a gut check on this constantly, because it will, if you answer messages on the fly, you will burn out. You will burn out because you will feel like you're constantly on your phone, because you are, and you need to stop. You're also putting that persona that, to people that if they became a coach as well, they would have to do that. And that's not sexy. That's not sexy. People want to be a coach. They are attracted to this business opportunity to have more freedom with their family, not be tied to their phone 24/7. So when you're answering all these messages and you're like, hey, would you ever think about being a coach? They're like, thanks for answering all my messages constantly, but I don't want to do that. That puts that message out there, whether you mean to or not. Our actions and, that they all come across at some way or another, and that just it shows that. So hold tight. No one will in it. And honestly, if people don't respect your family time, that's not somebody you should want to work with. But I've operated my business that way for I'd say 2.5 years, and I think I've had one complaint. And she was like, it's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of time between our messages. And I said, listen, my family time is important. I'll never let a message go more than 24 hours unanswered. And I understand our calendars might not jive, right? They just haven't been jiving. And her responses were a little delayed, and then mine were delayed. And she was like, oh, no, you're right. Of course, you shouldn't have to. You have your out. I said I have my business hours, and that's when I'll answer your messages. She said, okay, she's a client. So it's the only time I've ever had somebody say that to me. At 999 times out of 1,000, people are going to be like, got it. I love that. That's totally fine. So don't answer messages on the fly. Otherwise, I'm going to find you and steal your phone and chuck it out the window. And then you won't have a phone to answer messages on the fly with, okay? So again, with that, don't glorify being busy. So there's a fine line between saying, I get all of this in, and I still get to spend time with my family. Like I'm using this little time, I'm in car line to pick up my kids or whatever, versus saying, oh, I'm at so-and-so's soccer practice, not watching them, on my phone working. There's a difference between showing that it's convenient to work this job versus you have to be on your phone 24/7. So be careful with that and just be mindful of how you're presenting that. So it is sexy that we can work wherever, whenever, but it's not sexy to show like texting and driving, or you know what I mean? I hope you guys can pick up on the difference that way. So I have two more big things. So you need to, when you work full time, you need to learn how to delegate and trust and believe, little Shanti here, that I am unbelievably type A and I am unbelievably controlling. So learning to do this was so hard. PD it up, people. PD it up for you type A's, and you can commiserate with me. But you need to learn to delegate. And there's two ways I do this. I do this with the leaders on my team. Now they do it without me asking. They just kind of know if I say like, oh, I'll do this, and they kind of will jump in. And that gives, Jesse's like, I have her do it all the time. Thanks, Jesse. And now she knows, like she'll say like, Rachel, do you want me to do that? Yes. Because one, it empowers my leaders because they are awesome and they should be recognized for that, and that makes them feel good. They're helping me out immensely, and it takes something off my plate that maybe I didn't have time for. Like making graphics, those don't really happen for me. I do not really make graphics because that's not an income producing behavior or activity, and it doesn't like fulfill me. I don't love to make graphics. So that kind of leads me to the next one is, if you are really flourishing and you have a lot of things, a lot of activities to get done, and think about getting a virtual assistant. When I did that, again, my business, like it was crazy because now I'm not bogged down with the things that are necessary for my business that don't bring me joy. So does things that don't need to be me that does it. So she makes me graphics, and I always joke like with my team, like she's like a part of my team, like they all know her and know who she is. I call her by name, and she does a lot of those things for me. And another thing is, like if something happens, like she sends initial messages for me off of my like page as an example of something else she does, and that, because that doesn't need to be me. And then everything after that, conversation-wise, is me. But she does a lot of things like logging and tracking. You need to have a tracker that make you more productive. Side note, but she does things that don't bring me joy. It doesn't bring me joy to log things into my Teamsy. That does not bring me joy, but it frees up my time to do other things that do bring me joy in this business. Because your time is worth something. It's worth a lot, actually. Especially if you work full time. Time is money, okay? So you don't have to pay somebody like $1 zillion and it's great. And I'm sure that you know people that have a virtual assistant, so you can ask them like the ins and outs. I don't want to spend too much time on that. But it just leaves you open to do more of the things you love, and it will fill your cup up so much more, and you will portray that in your posting and in your everything. It will just come across that way. Okay? So my last thing is like one of my favorite things is set up systems that work for you while you sleep and that make you just incredibly productive. So sometimes these things take a little front loading. Like I have Google Forms for just about everything. I have Google Forms if people want to join a free group. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I kind of get low battery. When I'm talking a lot, I sometimes burp. It's really embarrassing. But Google Forms, because then you can export it to Google Sheets, and then guess what? Copy and paste all of their emails, invite them to the group that way. That's so much more efficient for me versus inviting every single person in. Does it take me a little bit of time to make a cute Google form? Yeah, but not that much time, like 10 minutes, and it's worth it in the long run. It makes my free group so much more successful. I also do Google Forms I have a new challenger checklist. I have a new coach checklist, and like an onboarding system with a Google form. I have Google Forms for opportunities within my team page. I have so many Google Form boot camp applications, challenge groups, whatever you call them. Google Form it up. If you've never used Google Forms, they're really user friendly. It's very simple. You can always YouTube how to make a Google Form if you don't know how. Also, other things that work for you while you sleep: your Instagram stories, your Instagram story highlights. There's been tons of trainings on those, but use those. Jatana Jackson has a great training on that in here, and Jen Richardson, the IG queens. But those Instagram highlights, if they came to your profile and you haven't done a story in the last 24 hours, don't do that. But if you don't, they can see, and people while you sleep. Okay, losing internet. I don't know why that's happening. Okay, this is just life, you guys. I'm sorry. So things that work for you while you sleep. And then, so Instagram stories, using that linked group option in your Facebook groups, to do coach sneak peeks, and you can link them from your team page, you can link them from your challenge groups. Okay, my internet's back. That was super weird. But that, somebody who's in a different time zone than you may come to and see that while you are sleeping, but then join your coach sneak peek and, see that. So I use the linked Facebook groups feature constantly. That's just set up for you. That's a new thing. Use Facebook's features for sure. And then another thing is having that Google, your link in your Instagram. You can only have one link, but if you use a link tree, it will, you can then use a bunch of things. I have a bunch of Google Forms in there. You can check out mine to see what it looks like. If you want, my handle is fit_teacher_Rachel. But to see, then you can have a whole bunch of different links in there. But again, that is set up. So maybe someone comes to see my profile, they click on my link, they're like, oh, she has virtual boot camps? What's that? And they can apply, and then I can email them the details. So that is set up to work for me while I'm asleep. And those are the things, your time is money. So you want to front load those things to make you more successful long term. And the most important thing to remember is that if it is important to you, you will find a way. If not, you will find an excuse. And working full time it's a crappy excuse, because honestly, you should leverage that and talk about it all the time, how you can do this while you work a full-time job, and it doesn't have to take away from your family. It adds to your family, it adds to you, it makes you happier. I talk about all the time how I'm a teacher. I've said that 5,000 times, but I'm a teacher, so I really need something for me at the end of the day that has nothing to do with school. I don't want to be on Pinterest finding new lesson plan ideas. I need to decompress from my day. I bring home a lot of baggage, literally and figuratively. And so I need something just for me. And so many moms and teachers and any profession can relate to that. Whether you're a nurse or you have a desk job with annoying coworkers, everyone can relate, So that is really important to keep in mind. If it's important to you, you will find a way. If not, you will find an excuse. Whew. Okay, I talked really fast and I'm excited, but that's my little spiel for you guys. I'd love to answer any questions. I don't want to answer them live. I'll just go back and comment to not take everybody's time. Then you can scroll the comments if you'd like. But I hope this was helpful. If you could give me some feedback, that would be mucho apreciado. I always joke with my students. I'm like, oh, I speak Spanish. They're like, no, you don't. No, I don't speak Spanish. But if you guys could let me know what you thought of that, feel free. If you have, probably a lot of you have coaches on your team who do work full-time. Trust me when I say that it can be done. I should have said this at the beginning, but obviously Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success, yada, yada, yada. But everyone's success is based on their own diligence, skill, and work ethic. But it's impressive that I know that. But you can, I have built a 6-figure business while working full time, and I'm not anybody special. Like, if I can do it, you can do it. I hope these tips were helpful. It was really fun to do. This has been on my goal board, my vision board for a really long time to be able to do this, and it's something I'm really passionate about because I can say with honesty that I don't have to have a full-time job teaching. I choose to be a teacher. It's been like that for 2 years. So you can have the best of all worlds if you do have a job you love. I was never in Beachbody to get out of my full-time job, but now I have the option to be home with my son more next year. So that's what I have for you guys. Hope this was helpful. Feel free to share with your teams and all that good stuff. So have a great night. Thanks for having me.